You should join our Patreon.
Just got something in my eye.
She just like started winking at me aggressively.
I can't see out of my right eye.
Anyway, you take care of that. Hello.
Hi.
It feels like it's been a really long time since we've recorded. I recorded a little spiel at the beginning of last episode, just a couple days ago.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done an episode.
Yeah.
It feels like it.
It
I don't know.
feels like it's been forever, but I think is it
a couple weeks?
2 weeks?
The last episode we sat and recorded was the AI and the Brown Mountain Lights.
Gosh, that feels forever ago.
Yeah.
Forever ago. What day is it?
What day is it? I don't even know.
It's the end of February.
Okay. Yeah. Recording. It's the last day of February. It's 28th. And wow. Yeah.
I can't remember when did we record last? What day was that?
It would have been the 7th of February.
Oh my God. 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If we recorded on schedule. I don't know if we did, but
I don't remember.
yeah, that episode was episode 13, and then we were on vacation.
I'm going to apologize right now for all the editing you're going to have to do.
Oh man, it's fine.
Vacation was lovely.
The vacation was lovely.
But there are humans out there, and they're germy and gross.
Yeah. Kids got sick. Yeah, so I feel like maybe we need to apologize for last week's episode.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I think I like our after pie sessions. I think they're fun.
I think they're fun.
But I know it was a unplanned deviation from our actual podcast, and hopefully you guys liked it.
Which one did you put up? I don't remember. Oh, the ADHD to Z bread.
Which, if you're wondering, since recording that after pie session on January 4th, I have not made that bread. At all.
ADHD brain.
Any of the letters.
I mean, that makes sense. That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a brownie recipe I want to try.
Oh, I'm down for brownies.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. I'm going to try to drink some tea.
Okay.
I'm just amazed you haven't gotten sick yet.
Me too. It's crazy.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know. They're adorable. We're watching Kiersey and Zirin
Kiersey's just laying there, and occasionally she just reaches up and like pat,
they're
smacks him.
Napping next to each other. They're both awake, but they're like laying next to each other and occasionally just
being adorable.
Tapping each other. I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to cut off here. I used to never get sick, ever. Like
I used to get sick all the time, but I haven't been sick since like last December. And even that, like it was bad enough to keep me out of work for a few days, but it wasn't super horrible.
Apparently I've been doing the get sick every 2 years thing. It's when I go to LA. I can't go to LA anymore.
No more California for you.
No. I have to go to Disney.
Disney
I didn't get
count.
sick the last time I went to Disney. I mean, last time, but
Disney
every
is
time,
a whole country.
It's its own little place.
Yeah.
Every time I go to LA,
That is
I
where
get
you got sick, though.
Shh. No, I got sick in LA.
Okay.
Don't say anything bad about Disney.
Anyway, Galley was fun. Gallifrey won the Doctor Who convention that we went to. And we did see, we saw Allison and we saw LB and we met new friends, Alex.
And Rick and Yvette.
And we saw
I feel like we
Kier.
met some other people too. And we did see Kier.
We saw Kier, and he actually tagged us in an Instagram post. Which
it was good to see Kier.
It was
I miss
very
Kier.
sweet. Anyway, it was fun. And then after the con, we did Disney, which was also fun. And it was a little bit cold at nights, but totally worth it.
Nice during the day. It was really crowded.
It was really crowded. Well, more crowded than it was the last time we went.
Yeah. It was still fun, though.
Yeah.
We did what we want. The only thing we didn't do was we waited too long to get sourdough, and it was gone. And we it just kind of ruined the entire trip.
So there is one place in California Adventure you can go to get what is it, Bodine sourdough?
Yeah, Bodine.
Which is a sourdough company out of San Francisco. But there's one place that you can get it. And we spent one day in California Adventure, and we just like the whole day we're thinking about this sourdough, and we should go get this sourdough.
And we walked past the place like multiple times.
Yeah, we did. We were in San Francisco Pier for a while because we waited in line to see Baymax.
Because we love Baymax.
We love Baymax. But we decided that we wouldn't pick up the sourdough until towards the end of the day so we wouldn't have to carry it around the park all day.
Which was a very poor decision.
You'd think it would be a smart decision, but apparently they stopped selling the sourdough at whatever time, and we missed it.
I'm so sad right now. I'm just sad right now, a week later.
I'm thinking about this sourdough, and we could have still had some.
It's so good.
Yeah. Like I was so tempted because after our day in California Adventure, we had another day in Disney. And while we were walking in the Esplanade where like you go through security and then you like can go right to Disney or left to California Adventure. And I so wanted to find somebody in the California Adventure line and be like, I will pay you whatever you want.
Go right now.
Go right now in there to get some sourdough and bring it right back out right now. But I didn't.
We totally should have.
Yeah, we should have.
We would have given someone a good story.
I know. I'm regretting it.
And we would have had sourdough.
I'm regretting not doing it.
If you haven't had the Bodine sourdough.
Bodine sourdough. It's in San Francisco.
And it's it's from the same sourdough starter that they had in the early 1800s.
Yeah, they've been using the same mother dough and they just keep feeding it. It's insane.
It's so good. It's the best sourdough I've ever had.
It's really good. We found out that they do ship, but it's pretty expensive. We can get sourdough. Nope. Sourdough shipped to us.
I mean, it might be worth it.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I've done it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually did really good with our spending until that moment.
Oh my gosh. We were so sad about missing out on sourdough that we went over to the Big Hero 6 store, I guess, in San Francisco Square. If you guys haven't watched the movie Big Hero 6, you should. That's what I'm referencing right now.
It's really very good.
It's very cute.
And there's a little series of shorts, and they're very cute.
Yeah. But yeah, we went in that store and spent way too much money.
Way too much money.
We got Baymax pillows for the train, and I got a bag, and wasn't there something else that we got? Oh no, we ended up getting the drink
cups.
Yeah.
Ridiculous purchases.
Oh man. Yeah.
But,
it was retail therapy, and
we didn't get sourdough, and that's all that really mattered that day. Oh, I did get my first ever Guardians of the Galaxy / Tower of Terror picture. Oh yeah. I've ridden that ride so many times, and I've never been able to get a picture, either because someone did something that they won't do the pictures, or my face was covered up by the people in front of me, or something every time I've ridden that ride.
So fun fact, if you are riding a Disney ride and decide to flip off the camera or do something inappropriate, when the camera goes off, they will not show your picture. And everybody else in the ride will get pissed.
Yeah. And during, when masking was required, if your mask came off in the ride, they didn't print the picture. And that's what happened the last time we went. Both times we rode that time. Someone's mask, they took their mask off during the ride, and we didn't get our picture. And
yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
The one this time didn't actually show up on the screen ever.
Oh, yeah. It didn't show up, which was really weird.
There was another group of people waiting for it and just waiting and waiting. And they were the geniuses that figured out the little number system. Like, oh, they skipped this number. It goes from like 05 to 07 or like whatever, like this long string of numbers that ends in 05. And then the next one was 07. And so they were like, oh, we must be da 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 06. So you type that into your the app that gives you the code, and we were able to download our picture.
I was like, there, look, like, it's a picture. No one was in front of me.
That was an ingenious thing that I should have been able to figure out, because if you think about it, duh.
Right? Oh, it's so nuts. I want to go back.
I know, me too.
I've already started putting coins in our little piggy bank for our next trip.
It's going to take a while to save up. If you want to donate to our Disney fund. Oh, you know what? There's a thing that I think we've talked about this before, and I keep forgetting that we've talked about it and that it's a thing I want to do. But in our Patreon shop, I want to put a thing that is like, buy us a drink or donate to our Disney fund or whatever. And it's just like these little extra things that you can buy in our shop.
Okay.
That would actually just link you to a PDF download saying thank you, but you would have donated money to us.
That would be nice.
And that'd be great.
It would be appreciated.
Yeah. Buy us a warm beverage. Get us a cup of tea. Or donate to our Disney fund. Or just our general travel fund.
Help us keep the lights on.
Yeah, that too.
Fix our water heater.
Help me buy a new car battery for my car. Or fix our hot water heater, which has been broken since before our vacation.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm very hot right now. I'm just kind of over being sick. It's been a week.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So should we do the podcast?
Oh, I guess.
I don't know if I'm going first or not because we haven't rolled, but I'm going to apologize that I
don't apologize.
I know. I
don't
apologize. Feel like
yet.
I did.
That'll set people's expectations way low, and they're going to be like, "Oh, I don't want to listen to this," and they're going to turn it off. So don't apologize.
Okay,
this is going to be the best episode ever. You're really excited about your topic.
I am actually. It's an interesting topic. All right, let's do this.
All right. It's only one way to do this, and that's just to get it done.
Oh, man.
It's funny because, like, nobody knows that we're actually quoting something when we say that.
No. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Here, get little kisses.
And I'm not even going to
get little kisses. Okay.
Say what we're quoting because it's weird. Oh, man.
I'm just going to make a rule that you just go first.
Why? I think I rolled a 19 last time. Or was it a 20?
It was higher than mine.
Roll down. Lay down. Lay down.
Okay, it's fine. It's good. I'm going to sit back a little bit, and I'll try to just lean forward to talk so I'm not like constantly breathing.
Okay. I actually am sort of in love with my topic. I don't have a whole lot of information on it, but the information I have is cool. And I think I would say it's a nice, cozy, quaint topic.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Hang on a second.
What is your topic?
So I'm gonna set up a scenario for you.
Okay.
And give you a problem. I want you to think of the most creative solution you can to overcome that problem.
Okay.
Okay. So picture it. France.
I was going to say Sicily, 1920.
Close.
Okay.
France. It's a region called Lands, bordering the Bay of Biscay. And right now it's a pine-filled forest terrain with beautiful beaches. But think back to a couple hundred years ago. The land was totally flat from horizon to horizon, covered only with undergrowth, brushwood, scrubby plants. The ground itself is hard and the soil does not absorb water very well.
Okay.
So when it rains, it's really marshy and swampy. It's just very difficult terrain, to use D&D terms.
Okay.
The problem is it's raining. The ground is super wet. You're a shepherd with an enormous flock of sheep, and you need to watch over them. Visibility is difficult, and you just really hate trudging through all the marshy water. You get water in your shoes.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
Swamp feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nasty. What do you do?
I mean, I take moving is not relocating to a different.
You're pretty set in the area.
You're pretty okay.
You live here.
I live here. I don't know. Like, it would take a monumental amount of money to drain the swamp.
Yeah. Not really an option.
So not really an option. Maybe I would find ways to make little rafts for my sheep.
A little raft for your sheep. Oh my gosh. I like that better.
little. Yeah, I think I would just like
a raft per sheep, and instead of like a grazing herd of sheep, they're all just paddling along on little rafts. No, the sheep are actually fine in the water. It's not deep.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just for me?
Yeah.
Stilts. I thought we were trying to get my sheep out of the water.
No.
Okay, for me, I would
just
stilts.
You.
I would use stilts.
Yes.
Okay.
And so did they back in the 18th and 19th.
Oh, is this
centuries.
the stilt
walkers?
thinkers? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, shepherds on stilts was a thing back in up until the mid 19th century. Okay, go. It was pretty common to traverse the lands region of France in stilts. It was way more convenient than walking, and carriages even tended to get stuck. And in this particular local region, they didn't even have roads that connected their cottages. All their cottages were sort of super far apart. They didn't even have good tracks to connect them. And like during the dry season, walking around wasn't really a problem. But when it rained, that's when things got difficult, and that's why they couldn't maintain roads or anything, because it was just super sandy terrain, and everything would just get messed up every single rainy season. So the locals came up with an ingenious way of getting around, and they called this mode of transportation, walking on stilts, they called it changer, Tchangues, changer.
Okay.
Yeah. And that means big legs.
Okay. I like it.
And when I read that, I was like, what kind of cryptid would that be if we were to create a cryptid called changer, and knowing changer means big legs? I want to create a cryptid.
Okay.
I want to invent one.
All right. I'm inventing it in my head, but I'm going to listen to you. I also want to say, when I was a kid, my dad made some stilts for me, and they were just really, it was like maybe 2x2s. It was a square. It might not have been a 2x2. It might have been something smaller, but
yeah,
it was just a square, like 10-foot pole, and he made a little wedge nailed to the side. And was like, here, have fun, kid.
My grandparents had a pair of those too.
I freaking love those things. And so our property was on a slope, and his shop that he worked in was down at the bottom of the slope.
Uh-huh.
And I could go up and down that hill like as easy on the stilts as like on my own 2 feet.
Isn't it crazy how acrobatic we were as kids?
I don't even know if I could stand on without trying to move right now.
Yeah.
If I could just balance on something like that.
It's crazy.
It's
and like
nuts.
even like monkey bars, the idea of going across monkey bars, I'm like, I don't have the arm strength for that. I can't hold myself.
I would like grab the pole and just fall off.
I would hang for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds to just hit the ground. But yeah, I had those stilts for I mean, it felt like years, but it was probably just a summer.
Yeah.
But I went everywhere on those things. I would go to the neighbor's house and up and down from the house to the shop, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
I love those things.
Yeah. So that was the way that everybody got around who lived in this region of France.
That's pretty brilliant. Although I don't know that I ever went through water on them. That would be an interesting, like the lift and
a new challenge, and then also like on
uneven
dirt and uneven ground.
Yeah, with tree roots and twigs and
that
would be interesting.
So we will circle back to that cryptid thing.
Okay.
At the end, I think.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't know he was pushing on your stuff.
It's fine. He's happier.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Spoiled cat.
Okay.
So the stilts that these people would use, they have been described as 6 or 7 feet high with a leather band at the top to hold the stilt firmly against the lower leg. A footrest with a stirrup and strap was set about 5 feet above the ground. Do not push buttons.
Oh, so they were like strapped in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bottom of the stilt was sometimes reinforced with a sheep bone cap. So they would have that good sturdy base. Don't touch the machine. Baby.
Handsome boy.
Here. Let me get back now.
Okay, a sheep bone cap.
I gotta find my place. Many of the stilts had a rounded top, allowing the wearer to sit and rest in one place. So
that's
now,
brilliant.
Yeah. So like nowadays we think of stilts as being attached to like the outside of the leg, but theirs was attached to the backs of their legs and they could just like lean back and sit.
Oh, nice. I wish I had that.
I know. And like a lot of the shepherds would carry another stick with them long as the stilts to just like use as a shepherd's crook, but also they would use it to just like, they would prop themselves up like a tripod and just like
brilliant.
sit. Yeah. And the other benefits of stilts included obviously keeping your feet dry. You get up out of the marshy wetlands and no wet socks, no squishy boots. It would also, for the shepherds, it would increase their visibility. They can look over, massive herds of sheep and watch out for predators and keep an eye on any wandering sheep. And it also increased their speed significantly. You can cover a lot of ground on stilts.
Yeah.
And a notable demonstration of stilt walking was made by Sylvain Dornan in 1891. He walked from Paris to Moscow, which was a distance of more than 2,800 kilometers.
Wait,
which is
Moscow, like Russia?
Yeah. That's what I said.
That's insane.
It's almost 1,740 miles.
On stilts?
He walked the whole way on stilts in 58 days.
Oh, dang.
Which I did the math is about 30 miles a day.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
On stilts.
On stilts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts.
So, yeah. Fun fact, the shepherds would sit on their stilts and knit as they watched their sheep.
Aw. Aw, that's adorable.
And in fact, in France back then, knitting was predominantly a male pastime.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. In 1808, another fun fact, when Empress Josephine went to Bayonne to meet Napoleon I, the municipality sent an escort of young Landese stiltwalkers to accompany and amuse the ladies of the court.
Aw.
And the ladies, they liked watching the stiltwalkers race. They would often throw coins on the ground and have them like stoop to pick them up because they could do stuff like that. And, they would like make a show of it. And sometimes they'd do like pratfalls or fake falls and like recover at the last second on their stilts. And it was insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like, okay, you're on these stilts that are 5 or 6 feet above the ground. And then you're somehow bending over to get... I'm just trying to concept,
so are they
are they doing like the giraffe thing where you get all splay-legged?
I think so. And I'll find pictures and post them.
Okay.
On the website when we do the show notes. Yeah, because a lot of the old timey pictures I found weren't depicting the acrobatic stunts, but right. I bet there's some out there that I can find because there are modern performers who still do this.
That's nuts.
The kids of the region would often have like agility contests, and the girls would participate because like everybody learned stilts.
I mean, yeah, if you can keep your feet out of the water.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's rainy a quarter of the year.
Yeah.
I would definitely be like, hey, I'm up here.
I'm getting out of that. The mail would be delivered by postmen on stilts, and just like everything was done on stilts. Yeah, like I mentioned, they were crazy skilled.
It's just like human ingenuity. You know, like my first go-to is like, well, okay, obviously I can't move for whatever reasons, you know, either, you know, regional, who owns what land or whatever, mm-hmm. or just the inability, the funds.
Yeah, this is just where
moving
you
is not necessarily a free action.
Yeah.
It often costs quite a bit, but just be like, well, we're stuck in this place and it does this. So what can we do to, you know, make this part of our life livable and accessible? And we'll, you know, look at these birds have really long legs and they stay, you know, okay, let's try that. Let's give ourselves long legs.
Yeah.
You're out of the water and then it just becomes a part of life.
Yeah.
Which I think is brilliant.
So I didn't actually include this in my notes, but I did look it up at some point during my research. Not today, so if I get this wrong, I'm sorry, but stilts were actually invented by the Chinese, and originally they were also used for like agricultural purposes. They would use them to traverse the rice fields and things like that. So it wasn't an unknown concept, and like mm-hmm. I'm not sure how much the local people in that region of France knew about, you know, Chinese agricultural practices, right. But like obviously something, you know, spread, or maybe like, you know, they just thought of the same idea.
I mean, you had the spice trade.
Yeah, the spice trade was.
So I'm sure like people would talk about, oh, you know, these people in these fields on these big sticks or whatever. But also like, I mean, just because only, you know, one person is not the only person who ever thinks of a thing.
Oh, I know.
You know, and I think sometimes like I'll be like, oh, this was invented here and this is the only person who ever thought that.
Yeah.
And it's a concept that can be kind of imagined by anyone with.
Yeah. Like you have a problem that needs to be solved. There's not just going to be one person that comes up with the one solution to solve that problem, you know?
Right.
And I actually tried to do a little research about when they started stilt walking in this region. And I don't know if it was when it was first settled or, you know, a generation or two later. I couldn't actually find anything about it. I didn't do a lot of extensive research. I was very ADHD with this research. I kept getting distracted, so I didn't.
Ooh, same.
Didn't really do a deep dive or research as well as I could have. So the information probably exists out there somewhere. There is a book that was mentioned in one of the articles I found called The History of France, and I'm sure maybe it's in there somewhere. I tried to find out like the origins when this practice started, but everything that I found just said 17th and 18th centuries, or no, 18th and 19th century, maybe late 17th. I do know that because of the massive change in terrain, it's not a practice that exists anymore.
Yeah, you said now it's like pine forest?
Yeah, and it's very interesting. That was a man-made change.
Oh, so someone did have the money and drained the swamp.
Right, yeah. Well, but it was a massive effort that took basically a couple centuries to accomplish, and it was actually starting in the early 1800s. There was a massive forestation effort. So like during the time that stilt walking was common and popular and in its heyday, they were also trying to make this land more habitable. And it was an effort headed by the lords of the land, the higher ups in all the municipalities. And I have a quote from an article on a website called moderndailyKnitting.com. They had an article about the shepherds because it was common practice for them to knit. So I thought that was kind of fun.
That is very cool.
But the quote says, "You might think, who wouldn't want to live in a swamp surrounded by shifting sand dunes with no drainage and barren moorland? I'll tell you who. The inhabitants, stuck in a miserable cycle of poverty. Their sheep provided some meat and wool, but it wasn't enough. Farmers tried to scrape crops out of the soil, but sandy land with no drainage was unsuitable for every plant they tried. Rice? Nope. Tobacco? Nope. Peanuts? Nope. To make matters worse, malaria brought by mosquitoes who thrived in the swamps decimated the population."
Oh, man.
So because of that, and like my, I guess, privileged modern day thinking is, why did they decide to settle here? But like, again, I don't know even the politics of the area. They might have had nowhere else to go or couldn't afford to go anywhere else. But because of this huge forestation effort, the area now is forested by maritime pines, which is a distinct type of pine tree that grows along the ocean. And it's like the terrain has changed massively. The soil is now fertile. And because of the change in terrain, the economy sort of shifted too. So instead of relying on sheep, they started relying on other industries like timber and resin and turpentine and paper making. So when they discovered that type of pine tree that would grow in the land's soil, in 1857, a statute was released telling all the municipalities to planter les pines. So, yeah, it was just this huge effort to stabilize the area. So
I think it's so brilliant to me that you can, and I guess we see it every day, like we can influence the land around us and change the landscape. But just thinking about that, like you have this useless land, and not necessarily useless. It has its own biodiversity and all of that.
Yeah.
But for human use, it's not ideal. And then just out of necessity, you find a way to make it productive, to make it, to shift and just create an entirely new biome.
Yeah.
With these trees that grow well in this type of area, oceany, salty area.
Yeah.
And then you also have created this new industry, the paper making or the resin for ships and that sort of thing, like all the stuff that those pines were used for.
Yeah.
And now you've taken these people who were scraping to get by, and now they can have these different jobs and incomes and stuff. And now there's
finally farm the land.
Yeah. And
live off of the land instead of relying on, trade or.
It's fascinating what we can accomplish.
Yeah. And like, I found myself being like, oh, they changed it. But also like, it wasn't like industrialization. It was forestation, which is great. It's
an improvement. I mean, you have a malaria pit basically.
Yeah.
That you've now turned into a forest.
Yeah.
I'm very pro forest.
Yes.
Forests are lovely. Pro forest.
And so while the necessity for the stilts is no more, the tradition of stilt walking is still being honored by folk performers.
Oh, that's cool.
And they wear the traditional iconic like sheepskin coat, and they have the traditional stilts, and they perform these acrobatic feats on stilts.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And I actually saw right before we started recording, I found a website from a photographer who did a photo shoot of a French folk performance group who performs on stilts. And so I will link that in the comments. There's some really cool pictures there.
Cool. Yes.
Not in the comments. I'll link it in the show notes. Yeah. And that is all the information I have. And I
the stilt walkers. Huh?
Yeah. I wanted to pull up some like random like other fun uses for stilts and like the history of stilt walking and stuff like that. And I maybe should have, but the concept of coming up with this cryptid is more intriguing to me. So let's do that.
Okay. Okay. Is this going to be a friendly cryptid or not?
I think it's going to be a shy cryptid because I think of big legs.
Yeah.
My first thought was like daddy long legs, and they just kind of chill in. Yeah. Like
I'm thinking like
the spindly leg spiders.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a small body and these 4 big long legs, and it's just kind of walking through this kind of swampy forest.
Yeah, and there's like fog, and you see like sheep all around. Maybe they're shepherds. They look after your lost sheep.
Oh, I love that. Okay. I like this.
So, they have these long. They're kind of like the things they ride in the Dark Crystal. Remember the things with like the weird loping.
Yeah, what were those?
But like taller and more spindly.
Yeah.
Like if Tim Burton drew one of those.
Yes, yeah. I'm definitely picturing that Tim Burton kind of thin, narrow legs with the body on top kind of.
So what would the body look like?
I'm kind of like I almost went like deer-like and then wolf-like, kind of that lean, muscular with these really long
I'm
legs.
thinking fur, but
and big round glowy eyes.
Oh yeah, I like
and
the
then
big eyes.
I'm gonna have to sketch this.
Yeah,
big round glowy eyes, and then like it kind of watches over, like if a couple little sheep get away from the herd, it'll kind of watch over them. But if the shepherd comes out, it'll freeze, so it just looks like maybe the sheep are near some like 4 really tall thin trees or something.
Oh, I love that.
And it's just kind of watching over.
Yeah. And I think the sounds it makes.
Ooh.
Elk.
Oh.
It sounds like elk.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you guys have
creepy
ever heard
sounds,
elk.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy sounds.
Like you expect it to be one way, and then it's very high. Yeah, it's very high pitched and eerie. Like
it is so crazy. But I also think so. That's the sound they use to communicate over long distances. But I think they're very like soft and quiet up close.
Up close, yeah. Kind of those little purrs and
little purrs and soft clicks,
little trills. Maybe, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
What did we name this one?
Changer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Write that down. I'm gonna art this.
Okay.
I think it's gonna. Okay.
Big legs.
I could picture this in my head.
Yeah.
We've created a cryptid.
Yay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make up some Changer sightings and post them on some like creepypasta forums or something.
Get it spreading around.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'll put it in their card when we do the cryptid card.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we have this new cryptid just dropped.
Oh man,
that's actually fascinating.
Yeah.
I can't remember who gave us that topic. Was it something we found?
I don't think it was. I think it was something we just came across.
We found.
Yeah.
Supposed to be looking for some other kind of information, and we were like, "Oh, look!"
Maybe it was the picture because I like. Let me show you the picture and see if it sparks any memories. I don't know if I could turn my computer around. I am plugged in. Do you remember seeing that anywhere?
I do not. I'm having a memory of.
Maybe, was it a QI episode, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, none of these pictures are triggering memories. Look at them just chilling on their stilts with their little stick behind them. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it might have been QI.
Yeah.
We got a lot of topics from QI because QI is fascinating to me. And I need to just get all the seasons and binge them again.
Yep. All right. That's it for me. I'm done. What do you have? Oh, he's just purring away in my lap.
Oh, he's so sweet. He's such a pretty boy.
I could get the purrs on the mic.
He's like...
That's little Zirin purrs.
Oh, so precious.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. He's so cute. Okay. Now back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Our regularly scheduled, whatever this is.
What's your topic?
My topic. I think we got this one from Sarah. And it's slang. And that's the only thing I had to go on was slang. What? Slang.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just had slang on the notes and I was like, do we want the etymology of the word or do we want examples? So I actually went down several rabbit holes with this and had to bring it back.
That is a very broad topic.
It's a very broad topic.
And I have a vague memory of her recommending it. And I think we were talking about, it's because we were talking about the Gen Z slang.
Yeah. I think it came up in that whole episode where you talked about, I think where Chris's kid did the whole like Scooby-Doo's lyrics
what episode was that?
In slang.
It started from a Facebook post where I was like, I am now coming up with slang, like Gen Z slang for cartoons.
Yeah.
And our patron Chris and his teenage kid came up with a bunch of Gen Z cartoon theme songs,
which were great.
Yeah. I forget which episode that was in.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It was one of the earlier ones.
Yeah. It might have been Yule Lads. Maybe it was the one after that. Maybe it was Diet Love Pass.
No idea. They're all like, we're both looking up at the cards the cards right now, and I'm like, nothing is triggering memories here. I don't remember.
Well, because it wasn't associated with the topic. So
yeah, it was just one of those like random tangents that we went on.
I guess if you haven't heard it yet, you're just going to have to listen to all of our episodes
and
to see which one.
Please tell us which one it is. I mean, because we would like to know.
Yeah. Or join our Facebook group and search way back to find that post.
Way. Join our Facebook group anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're awesome.
Inside the Reveniverse.
So slang. Let's talk about slang. And I'm going to apologize because I feel like I'm going to be kind of all over the place here.
I feel like slang is all over the place, so
it really is.
Yeah.
It's I'm going to do a quick little etymology of the word.
Okay.
And then we'll talk a little bit about slang through the ages. The word itself was possibly first used in the mid 1700s, like around the 1730s and 1740s.
Interesting. Okay.
I got most of my information from two sites. One, the Oxford English Dictionary.com, and a YouTube video from Wired with linguists who explained different slang trends through history.
Sweet.
So initially, the
soundbite for that is really fun.
Sorry. Okay, so the first time we first see evidence of the word is in the 1730s and 1740s. There were plays that were performed in London that featured servants called slango, or whose names were slang. And so it was kind of and those characters in the plays were kind of the ones who came up with little devious schemes or did little things to deceive other characters. And
that's fun.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it ties the word slang to kind of the underworld of thieves, beggars, gamblers, peddlers, and that sort of thing.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like the underworld, and which is kind of funny. Thieves can't.
Oh yeah.
From D&D is like, I always think that's like a D&D thing, but actually the first thieves can't or slang dictionary ever written was in 1699.
Oh, I want it.
I do too, right? I'm like, well, I need that. But of course, like, whatever terms were put into that quickly fell out of use because the idea of thieves can't or slang was secret, a way to talk amongst people who were in the know without letting like the authorities realize what you're getting into, you know, or you can have a conversation in front of a copper, which is a slang term for constable on patrol.
Whoa, I didn't know it stood for something.
Oh, yep, it stands for something.
Like cop.
A cop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. Like all these little, I found like I said, I went down a bunch of rabbit holes. I found tons. I have several sites that are just literally words and their meaning of different times they're used in slang.
That's awesome.
And a lot of them are really fun. And some of them are like, oh, okay. I mean, that's still kind of like cop. We still use cop today.
Yeah.
Like, and that's from the 1600s, late 1600s of a constable on patrol.
That's funny because we don't even use the term constable anymore.
Yeah, it's a British term.
We don't have that.
Yeah, in America we don't. They're police officers or sheriffs or deputies or whatever. But yeah,
it's funny. I never actually wondered where the word cop comes from. So okay, that's
now
cool.
You know.
Yeah.
Hey, my job is done.
Yay.
Okay, thank you. Have a good afternoon. I'm done here. So yeah, the initial use of the word slang coming into having a specific meaning. It's from this underclass and these plays that were written that's kind of how you knew, oh, if you had, my servant Slango or whatever, you're like, he's the bad guy. He's the villain of the piece.
Yeah.
So it kind of had this undercurrent of this vibe of not being on the up and up.
Yeah.
But it is like, slang is really a vital part of our language throughout history. There's in ancient Rome, in Pompeii, in Egypt, there's different uses of graffiti and slang being used that had meaning at the time, and for that, like a specific class or a group of people. Like you mentioned in the beginning, Gen Z. We all know skibbity Riz toilet. I don't know. I am not a Gen Z. I can't even start to even comprehend some of the words. But
a random tangent here, but it was adorable. I watched a Stray Kids interview.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And one of the questions was which member has the most Riz? And this is a Korean boy band. They're not like super familiar with slang, I guess. And like, I mean, most of them knew what they were talking about, but they had to explain it to a couple of the others. Like Riz, it's like how good you are at flirting is how they described it. And they were like, oh, I don't know, nobody's good at flirting. And I was like, these kids.
Yeah. It's because it's from charisma.
Yeah.
Which is
Riz.
Yep. And it makes sense, and that's cute.
Yeah. I say they're kids. I think they're all in their 20s.
They're all in their 20s. Yeah. Probably. Anyway. Slang, the video that I watched from Wired, where these linguists kind of went through slang through the histories, it changes very quickly. And so stuff falls in and out of use depending on who's using it and then who starts to use it.
Yeah.
So typically, like the thieves can't. It's this subculture group that's using this, and then it becomes known to kind of the wider population, and then the subculture shifts their use of it.
They stop using it.
They stop using it.
Yeah.
One of the words that they specifically mentioned was from 2013, the word chuggy.
Oh gosh.
Is Is that chuggy?
Is that chuggy?
Chuggy.
Is that...
Kids say that to me, chuggy, chuggy. They yell at me from across the street. So chuggy was like cringe or not cool.
Yeah.
But then it got put into the Urban Dictionary in 2018. And then in 2021, there was a New York Times article about the word chuggy. And then it became very chuggy to use the word chuggy.
Right.
Because, like, it was talking about how...
It's not cool anymore.
Yeah, like, the Gen Z was like, oh, millennials are so chuggy. They're off trend. And then, like, the millennials start using chuggy, and the Gen Z's like, oh, stop using the word chuggy. That's so
I'm a
chuggy.
millennial, and I have never used the word chuggy.
I know. I heard it late, I guess, because I'm not in the, in the cool kids, I guess.
Well, you're not a millennial.
I'm totally not. I'm not. I'm a Gen Xer, and I'm proud.
did start using the word yeet, but only ironically.
Same.
Yeah.
I think I started using yeet in a D&D game because I had the glove.
Yeah.
My little 5 foot tall fighter would yeet dragons with her magic gloves. So it's kind of cool.
You can yeet something and you can yoink something.
Yoink.
But yoink has been around for
Yoink's been around for a while.
A long time.
There are some slang terms that have been around for a long time, and I wrote down a few, and I'm going to ask you, when do you think these words came into play?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay, cowabunga.
Oh man, I always think 80s, but it's probably been around for a long time.
What do you think 80s?
Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. It's actually from the 1960s and the Howdy Doody show.
Oh my gosh.
Which I'm like, what?
That's funny.
But yeah, it first entered the pop culture on the Howdy Doody show, which is like, what?
Okay.
Which made me want to go like look up where that was used and how it was used.
There's got to be a clip.
And it also came into the surf culture with the show Gidget.
Okay.
Because it was one of the catchphrases of one of the surfer guys when he would go into the ocean, cowabunga. Yeah. And like I kind of always attached that to a surf vibe.
Yeah, like it's like surfer slang.
But then it kind of faded out a little bit, but then it came back in the 80s with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then in the 90s with Bart Simpson.
Oh, that's funny.
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. I like this one. Crib.
Crib. Referring to one's place of residence.
Yes.
See, I always think like 90s rappers, but I'm sure I'm going to take a wild stab. 50s.
Shakespeare.
What? I meant 1850s.
Shakespeare was the first one to use the term to describe a small dwelling as a crib.
Wow. Okay.
Which I thought, what? Yeah, I mean, because like, okay, crib, baby crib, but MTV cribs, like, that's
why
the crib
I
my
think
house.
Of 90s rappers.
Like, if you ask me, I was same thing. I'd be like, oh yeah, MTV cribs. It's Shakespeare.
That's great.
Which is, it just blows my mind.
Is it like in a play or a poem that he did, or?
Probably. I didn't look up the whole details of it. I just was pulling information
Shakespeare is accredited for a lot of things without actually being cited.
Yeah, this one I'll find the citing because I pulled this off of a site and it had they had all their sources listed at the end, and I didn't like take the time to.
That would have been a rabbit hole for sure.
That I would have. Oh, I totally would have rabbit holed into 15 different things, which I did. Okay, groovy.
Groovy. I feel like I should say not the 70s because I want to say the 70s, 60s, 70s. I'm going to say, oh no, this is hard.
Groovy, baby, groovy.
Groovy. No, cake. I always think of Ash from Evil Dead. Groovy. The 20s.
1920s.
Ah, yeah.
Yay. It was referred to music that was particularly good.
Okay, so
it's kind of had the same usage.
Yeah.
through the years, and it's kind of gone up and down in popularity. 60s and 70s were when it really became like,
baby. Yeah,
groovy. You got the whole beatnik culture. So yeah, that's actually kind of, I was like, the 20s had some amazing slang, by the way.
Great slang.
I love, aren't you just the bee's knees?
Aren't you the bee's knees?
The bee's knees. I have a 21-page PDF from SmokyHillMuseum.org of 1920s slang in alphabetical order.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, can we bring some of this stuff back?
Yeah.
This dizzy with the name. He's dizzy with the name.
Oh
He's madly in love with her. And I just love stuff like that. Why don't we do this? I don't know. I'm like, I want to go through some of this, because some of these are like still used. I'm just going to scroll through this page now. So I'll get rabbit hole. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. Let me go back to my notes. Okay, back to my notes with this. The linguists on the YouTube video, they had several different newer slang terms that were used. And the biggest thing with slang is it kind of comes in and out pretty quickly, and you can't always identify who first coined it.
Yeah.
But there are a few things.
Sayings.
Sorry?
Like my misused sayings.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of write stuff down, people from the past.
Yeah.
But it is kind of one of those things that it kind of comes into, quit trying to make fetch happen, right?
Yeah. That is so fetch.
As if, for example, popularized in the movie Clueless. Is actually a, I didn't write this down, and I'm very annoyed that I didn't, but it's actually used in, I want to say 60s Black LGBTQ culture.
Okay.
Which is like very like,
that's specific,
very specific, but it came into use, like popular use, from the 90s movies Clueless.
Yeah.
Where it became more popularized. There were also a couple other phrases used in that movie that were from a Black subculture.
Interesting.
Which I found very interesting. And I also found a reel, which I did not save, and I'm very mad that I did not save it. And it was a mom and her kid using like current slang, like, like Riz and different words like that. And then another woman kind of stitched in over it. And so many of the words were from like Black subculture.
Wow.
That have been in use for generations.
Yeah. And
now they're kind of being pulled up into, common slang, popular current slang, which I thought was really fascinating.
That's interesting.
How like
That's
different
really
things
cool.
get used. Yeah. And I'm like, and that was a whole nother rabbit hole. I was like, I have all these notes of do more research on that, do more research on that. And I'm just like, I can rabbit hole one term.
Yeah.
And I can't focus this week because of the stupid head cold. And it's just been kind of I've been going research and going far off deep edges and being like, no, come back, pull it back in, reel it in. So yeah, a lot of what we know as slang is just a popular movement at the time amongst a certain group, typically a younger group. And then as soon as it gets picked up by the age group above them or popular mainstream, it falls out of use.
Yeah.
YOLO.
Yeah.
Katie Couric killed YOLO. She actually had a part on the show. I can't remember what her name. The morning show with Katie Couric. I don't remember. I don't watch.
I have no
TV,
idea.
But she had a segment called "What's Your YOLO?"
Oh my gosh!
And it was like, whoa, no. When Katie Couric is doing this, it's
like,
not.
I never use the word YOLO, and
I used it very ironically, like
stop,
YOLO, whatever. But yeah, it's not one of those.
Yeah.
No.
I
think by the time I heard it, it was already out of popularity, and I was like, no, that's a dumb thing to say anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like, ooh, it hit mainstream, and it's just like very chuggy, and
It's like once something gets popular, you realize how stupid it is.
Yeah. Like for real. Like you're for real. That's more slang.
For reals. For
but
the reals.
some stuff really just stays in the lexicon and stays cool.
Yeah.
Which is also slang.
Yeah.
Which has been used since 1930s and 40s. Started in jazz musicians. She'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. That's first rate. Excellent music."
All right.
And then it's just kind of it's kind of
Cool.
kept the same meaning, but kind of, shifted a little bit. It fell out of popularity in the 60s with the beatnik movement, kind of getting away from that kind of the uniformity of like the cool guys in the motorcycle jackets, or the 1950s where everybody dressed the same, and the 60s you kind of became the more groovy, man, and do your own thing. And then in the 70s there became this little uptick of nostalgia for the 50s.
Yeah.
And cool came back into play.
That's cool.
So cool. That's cool, right? Yeah. I mean, and that's one of those eternal things.
Get cool.
Speaking of
Great kids.
143.
Oh
I have the note down here.
Aw.
143
Code
is
143.
is slang.
Yeah.
For I love you, which I thought was
And
we
I
learned
love that. And I love that.
I love that. I know. I think I like that little bit of.
You gonna explain that one?
143 is a slang for I love you. It's the number of letters in the word. So I has love you. It's 143 letters. So
yeah.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, just those random little things that kind of become part of the history of our language as we use it.
That's cool.
So yeah, slang is, I can really, this is another one of these where it just deep dive. I could go on and talk about it for hours, but mostly like what I would just be doing would just be like, and this word and that word and this word and this one's fallen out of use, but now we use this and the different meanings.
I sort of brought, I feel like I have to start by, so there's a term that I popularized in the town that I grew up in.
Okay. Look at you.
I know.
Little trendsetter.
And it actually started up here in Snowflake because there was an old couple, a husband and a wife whose name was Janet. And he would always say, "Crap, Janet." And we had some friends up here that when me and my sister would come visit our grandparents who lived up here, they would say it just jokingly. And then we started saying it. And then we brought it back to our hometown. And everybody there started saying it, all of our friends. And so now, like, I really don't know if anybody uses it anymore. Obviously, it's not widespread. I'm not that big of a trendsetter. but like, I say it occasionally now, and a lot of times people think I'm quoting Rocky Horror Picture Show, but editing myself and I'll say "crap, Janet," and they're like, "That's not how it goes, right?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I'm not quoting Rocky Horror." But yeah, that's my little.
Your little trend.
Look how cool I am.
I was never that cool. I didn't start any trends or anything. So
everyone should start saying "crap, Janet."
Okay.
Crap, Janet.
Crap, Janet.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
Somewhere someone's going, don't. And 5 people who knew you are like, "Yeah, crap, Janet.
Crap, Janet. Yeah." I don't know if anybody who has ever heard me say that actually listens to this podcast, because that was like, I don't know, like it was it was a long time ago. It was a different chapter of my life.
Different chapter. Yeah.
That was back when I was Jack.
So yeah, slang.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know if that covered all the things that Sarah meant when she gave us the subject or not, or if she wanted us to look into deeper etymology of the word itself.
The origin of the actual word itself that you covered.
It was also, there was also another thing that I just happened to glanced down and was like, oh, right. There was this also part that slang still being like tied to the underworld. There's a thought that it could possibly have meant the chains or the prison chains that prisoners wore.
Yeah.
Also were called slangs or shackles. So
this is how big of a nerd I am. When you first said that it was associated with the underworld, I thought like actual
Hades and Persephone.
Hades underworld. And Persephone underworld. And I was like in the plays? Are they like characters from the underworld? And then I figured it out.
You got there in the end, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I thought, so it's a British insult, slag?
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with the word slang? Are there similarities?
Well, do you want me to go into a whole... I can research that if you give me about 15 minutes.
Because I also know that like a slag pot is a thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering if there's any relation at all to the word slang.
Or I did not see a tie-in with that in my studies, in my research.
Probably not. That was just a random thought I had.
It's just a random thought. An interesting one.
Yeah.
Just the changing of a letter.
Yeah.
So...
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
We should, look that up. Cool beans.
I had a note on cool beans.
Cool beans, cool beans.
Oh, let me see if I can find my note on cool beans. Because, I might not have wrote that one down. I had a bunch of stuff, and I need to just like not delete stuff when I put it in my notes and decide not to use it. I need to just like mark it off and not use it. Cool beans. Yeah, I took it out. But I think that's from like the 1920s as well.
That sparked a memory. I think you are correct. Something about beans.
Beans. Cool beans. I'm starting to lose it. I think my medication is wearing off and I'm getting like little fuzzy headed, a little dizzy.
I'm sitting here trying to think of slang that I use on a regular basis. And I'm sure my vocabulary is full of them, but it's a weird thing to think about because they're so common in my vocabulary. I'm not like associating that with slang.
Yeah.
Like
we don't really...
I mean, obviously I say cool a lot. I say awesome.
Radical.
Huh?
Radical.
I'm an 80s kid.
Rad. That's rad, man.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of like any other slang specific to my generation. I don't know. Anyone in their late 30s want to help me out with slang?
We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait.
We'll wait a
Write
week.
in.
We'll just press pause.
Yeah.
You can listen to this. We'll come back to it. Sorry.
Call in. You can talk with us live. On the air.
Wouldn't that be fun? That would be terrifying.
That would be terrifying.
Ooh.
I would absolutely trip up all over my words.
Oh, it would.
Which is weird because like, what's the difference between that and this? So.
Yeah, I don't know.
We do the tea times though, and that's live.
Yeah.
And I say stupid things there, so I guess, yeah.
I mean, we could do it one day, maybe.
Oh.
Yep.
Another random memory just popped into my head, but I know someone who lives in China, from China, and she actually went to university and studied English, got a degree in English. And she emailed me one day and asked about a couple of specific phrases that we use here in America and just in English, I guess, in general, not necessarily America. But like one of the terms was sort of. Mm-hmm. What does sort of mean? So I had to like, it means like kind of. Wait, she didn't know what that meant either. So I had to like think about stuff like that. Sort of, kind of, what does that mean? And I wish I could remember what else. I don't know if I saved that email. This was years and years ago.
One kind of tying into that, one of the websites that I pulled up, and I started going through it, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But it's Salisbury University. They have the International Student Handbook, and there's a list. It's called American Slang. There's a page of idiomatic usages or terms which relate specifically to academic and classes. So it's kind of things that are used in academia in America that aren't used internationally.
Interesting.
And some of them are very, I'm like, I was looking, I'm like, I don't think these are slang. But as I was oh, okay, I understand. Like ASAP.
Okay, yeah.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
At one's fingertips. Something easily recalled. A buck, like, $1.
Yeah.
US dollars a buck. Like that wouldn't be a thing. Or break the ice.
Okay.
That's an Americanism thing. And like cut class. You drive me up the wall. Finals.
Oh, yeah,
that's an Americanized term.
Yeah.
To have cold feet, to hit the books, hit the sack, hold up. In a nutshell, on the house, out of the question, to pig out, to play it by ear, to pull one's leg. And that just like reminded me, like, I think it might have been like the show Night Court. I don't know. There was like an old show, and there was someone from another country, and what is with the pulling of the leg? Why would you be the pulling of the? And I want to say it's like Yakov Smirnoff.
Oh yeah,
maybe one of his bits. Funny. That's his face just popped in my head, but and I just think about that. Like if you go to, and someone's like, oh, he's just pulling your leg. It's like, why is he pulling my leg? Like what rude? No.
All I can think of is Gru in Despicable Me. You're pulling on my leg.
Pulling on my leg. I love Gru. So yeah, there was just like this little random. I was like, oh, I won't use this as much, but you bringing up that the different little idiomatic things. Like when you learn a language, you learn the language.
Yeah,
like
the language.
You don't necessarily learn the everyday part of it.
Yeah,
where you just like pick up on all the little, slang terms.
Like,
or
when you speak a language as your first and primary language, you don't think about like, how do you explain kind of to someone who has never used that phrase before?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was weird. I hope I helped her. I
hope this helps. Yeah.
I should reach out to her. We were friends on my old Facebook account, but she wasn't like super active on Facebook. I don't know. I wonder how she's doing. Hey, Michelle.
That's your job. Do that.
We can have a listener from China.
Hey. So yeah, I guess I don't really have a whole lot more unless I just totally go off track on a million different things.
Yeah.
And I don't have the voice or brain power to do that right now.
That's okay.
My voice is actually like getting...
I can hear it getting like scratchier and scratchier. My throat is
getting tighter.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like drink my hot tea, but it's gone cold. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So, last episode. Oh, right. She just pointed to the deck of cards.
I'm like, are we going to draw cards?
I was about to just end this.
Let's draw some cards and then you can end it. So hold that thought.
Okay. I'm going to make you go first.
You're going to make me go first. Okay.
Actually, let's spread them on the table.
Let's spread them on the table because there's a bunch of them now. It's hard to just hold them. Okay. Okay, here we go. I always get like nervous.
I know.
Okay, what have I got? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Oh crap. I immediately want to start guessing. Okay, no.
It's one. Oh, I'm so excited.
Have we talked about it recently?
No.
Okay. Ooh. Haha. Okay.
What is it? What is it?
It's
Tell me,
gonna
tell
be
me, tell me, tell me, tell
fun. Okay.
me. Okay.
Ah,
Okay, I'm so excited.
me too.
I have to go. Oh my gosh. It's funny because like some I'm like, oh, I'm excitedly intrigued
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I don't know anything
interesting.
about this and what am I going to learn? And some I'm like, oh, I know stuff about this one. I'm so excited. And some I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
this could be interesting.
Yeah, there's some I'm like, huh, I was hoping you would get this one.
I mean,
But not this one,
same.
though. I am excited for this
I'm
one.
super stupidly excited for this one. Yay.
And even the ones that I'm like, huh, are always ones that I love in the end when I'm doing the research.
Oh, yeah. Because I love just learning the new things.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to just kind of.
I was like that when I drew the forensics one because, like, I love forensics, but I don't like my ability to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're like,
I
I'm not qualified to talk about this.
Decent job on the forensics one, though.
No, I like
know.
that one. I learned.
Hey.
And that's what this is all about.
Anyway, yay. I'm excited. This
Awesome.
is gonna be a good episode. We're both excited about our topic.
This is gonna be good. No pressure.
Okay. Last episode, we decided that we would end with the 3 good things thing.
Oh, right. Yes.
But then after that, I mean, we'll catch our groove one of these days.
We're going to get
more
it.
slang. But like we're changing it up again. It occurred to me that we already have a perfect way to end these episodes, kind of along the same lines as the 3 good things, but tying in our whole Raveniverse book series that will eventually see the light of day and get published. I don't know. But it's called War Members. And I feel like we should probably explain what we mean when we say war members, that we're going to share war members with you guys. So in the lore that we created for the books that we're going to write, if someone, wishes you warm embers,
or you're having kind of you have like since it came about through one of the groups of people, or they're like traveling groups.
Yeah.
So you would always kind of carry a little thing of warm embers to keep your fires and be able to travel with that.
Yeah.
And then it was always something that you would send with someone if they were leaving the group for, a task or whatever. So you would send those warm embers with them so that they would not, be out in the cold.
Yeah.
And the concept of warm embers as something that you can give to another person to kind of warm their heart or lift their spirits, or kind of just something good, like kind of the good vibes only kind of thing. But we start doing that in our group,
in our Facebook group.
If you're having, something's coming up, you're a little nervous. Hey, can I get some warm embers? Or, this is my warm ember for the day. This good thing happened to me, and it's just a moment of something that warmed your heart or made you feel good or kind of lifted your spirits.
Yeah. So war members in our books kind of became like a slang, which is awesome. Ties into this episode that, a slang for, I'm wishing you well. I'm sending war members, or, take war members with you, something like that. And we're sort of, it's something that we do in our Facebook group, like we said. And I thought that wouldn't it be perfect if we just ended each episode with a little war member that we can share with you. And
I love it.
I'm trying to think what our war member for this episode should be. What has happened?
Oh man. I think I don't know. I think just a war member to send with this episode is just
I have it.
Okay, go.
So our last movie review episode of The Swamp Thing, we said Timu Rambo a lot.
Yes.
And one of our listeners, after hearing that episode, sent us a little picture that she drew of a little ghost and named it Rambo. And like it's a little ghost with a little bandolier of bullets on him and a bandana. And she just drew it on a little sticky note and she sent it to us in a little card. And we got that this week. And I think that's going to be our War Member this week. So thank you, Mo, for sending us, it's right there, for sending us Rambo. And
little Rambo.
We also, both Mo and Sarah, I love Rambo.
I love little Rambo. He's so cute.
Mo and Sarah are friends in real life and listeners to our podcast. And they road tripped together and posted pictures of like them listening to our podcast and talked about Rambo. And I don't know, it was cute. It was fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Our little Rambo. He's going to go with our DePeppy ghost.
Yeah, Rambo and DePeppy.
I love that. I will, I love that as our little War Member. It definitely made me happy, like coming home and feeling so sick and then getting this adorable little ghost in the mail and just knowing somebody was out there listening to our little our Timu Rambo.
And cheering us on. Like Mo is like our biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
I think Mo and Sarah are both like...
Everyone needs a Mo in their life. Let me just tell you.
I know.
Mo is like super cheerleader and wonderful. And I just, shout out. Shout out to Mo.
Yay. She's also one of our patrons.
Yep.
And speaking of patrons, if you'd like to join our Patreon community and join in the awesomeness, you can find us at patreon.com/jessandhids. You can also find the links to all the things on our website, jessandhids.com, and follow us on social media, sign up for our newsletters. Our Facebook group, that was the other thing that I wanted to mention. Join our Facebook group. We do book club and movie club, and we have a lot of fun with those. We are also thinking about, I mentioned this in the little introduction that I did for the last episode, but we're thinking about having a free to join Discord channel in our server that would sort of serve the same purpose as our Facebook group for those who are not on Facebook or don't like Facebook or whatever. So yeah, keep an eye on our website, our Patreon. We'll probably do a public post when that goes live.
Yeah.
And honestly, the best way to get information is to follow our social media and sign up for our newsletters.
And if you want to reach out and talk to us, ask us any questions, you can always email us at jessandhids@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And
we're always looking for new topic suggestions. Thank you, Sarah, by the way, for the slang topic. And I guess thanks QI, maybe? Question mark for the Shepherds on Stilts.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. I don't have anything else really.
Yep, me either.
So we'll just send out our War Members to everyone and see what we have coming up in the next week's episode. Yay. I'm excited.
Me too.
All right, bye.
Bye.